Hello everyone. So in this session we are going to learn about reference planes and convert entities. So to start with reference plane, first we need to understand the need of planes. You can see front plane, top plane and right plane are given already here. These are default planes. But as the geometry complexity increases, there is a need of planes here. So you may require some extra planes so as to compensate with the complex geometry. For that we are going to go in features option and you can see here reference property option. But to take a different plane or to apply some extra planes, first we have to exit the working plane. So I will exit the working plane here. And now we'll go for reference geometry and plane option. So in plane option, you can see there are total 3 options given here for reference. Reference is nothing but if you want to take a plane from a face at certain distance, then that face is nothing but reference. So the maximum number of planes we can take here are 3. But at least one reference is compulsory required so as to take the new plane. So in first reference I am going to take here front plane, as I have drawn this sketch on front plane here. Now you can see one plane is appearing from reference of front plane parallel at a distance of 600 mm. You can provide offset distance here. If you want to flip the side of the plane, then go for flip offset. If you want to increase in total number of planes, you can increase the numbers, and the planes will appear at regular intervals of the taken distance. I select only one plane here and say it OK. Now as usually you can select the plane and say sketch. After activating this sketch, you can go for convert entities here. So in convert entities, you have to select the entities required to convert. So I'll say sketch to this plane. It is compulsory first to activate the plane and then go for convert entities option. So I'll activate this plane here and say sketch. After that we'll go for convert entities. Now select the entities you require to convert here. I'll select both the entities here. Now you have an option here, select chain. Suppose if you want to individually select the two sides of rectangle only, then you can go for directly the sides. But if you want to completely select the rectangle, then you can select the select chain option here and then select the rectangle. All the chain of the rectangle will be selected as a sketch 1 here and say OK then. All the 3 entities we selected were converted to sketch here. So this was convert entities here. Suppose I want to convert the circle also. I have not converted that circle first. Again I will go for convert entities and select the circle here and say OK. Whatever sketch I am going to convert, it will appear on activated plane here. So this was convert entities. Now we'll draw one sketch on front plane again. I will draw one sketch here. I have taken front plane first now. I'll say exit sketch and go for another plane from reference geometry. Now select the first reference. I'll say it again front plane and I'll take 300 mm distance here so as to put the another plane here. Now by this method you were applying distance here so as to take a new plane. Now we'll see one more method, that is by adding 2 references and taking the plane in between. For that again I'll go for reference geometry and plane option. I'll show here, right click and show the front plane first. In the second reference I'll show here as plane 1. Now you can see by selecting first as a front plane and second reference as plane 1, one mid plane is coming here. It will automatically divide the distances into halves so as to place this plane. So it will by default come in mid. For that you have to go for 2 references, that is first reference as first plane and second reference as a second plane. If 3D part is here, then you can go for 2 faces, first face and second face. By default you will get one plane in middle here, that is mid plane option. So I'll say it OK. In this way you can add this by the second way also the planes. Again I'll go on reference plane. Now I want plane in between plane 1 and plane 2. So in first reference I'll add plane 1 and in second reference I'll add plane 2. Again you can see third plane is coming here in between plane 1 and plane 2. I'll say it okay. So this was the second method by reference of which you can take planes in between of the parts or faces. First one was by taking or applying distance, second was by applying two references. Now if you want to convert this circle again, I'll select any plane here and say it sketch first, activating the sketch and then going for convert entities. Select the sketch to be converted and say it okay. You can see here this circle is converted on plane number 3. So it is very helpful option, but one drawback is there. I can't change the value of converted entity here. If you want to change the size or edit the size, then you have to get fully dependent on the first sketch. So if I want to change the diameter here, I'll exit this sketch and first I'll make change in the basic sketch through which I have converted the other sketch. So I'll go on this sketch, say it again, edit sketch. And after editing this sketch, I'll change the value here by 300 mm and say exit sketch. You can see the converted sketch also changed by a diameter of 300 mm. This is because this sketch was converted by the first sketch and it was fully dependent on the first sketch. That's why any change to be made in second converted sketch, then you have to change the basic sketch by which you have converted the second sketch. So this was convert entities and reference plane. Now I'll draw one 3D part and then we will continue with the 3D part so as to check the convert entities and reference plane option there also. Now I have made one 3D part here. So we'll start with reference plane and convert entities on 3D parts now. For that, select the reference plane option and add the first reference as this face. Put the offset distance here to add the plane. I'll say it 300 mm. Say it OK. Now this plane is added at offset distance of 300 by the reference of this face. After selecting the plane, say it sketch. And now we'll go for convert entities option. For that, first we'll hide the plane here. Select the plane in model tree area at left side and say it hide. Now convert entities. For converting entities, I'll select the edges. I'll select first and second edge here and say it OK. So both the edges are converted as sketch on the plane number 12, the added plane. So you can see these edges are converted to sketches. Again, I'll delete this sketch and activate this plane again. Say convert entities. This time I'll select complete face here. The selected face will show in blue color. Say it OK. Now you can see whole face edges are converted into sketch here. This whole face was converted into sketch here. Now we will take this cylindrical feature to be converted on the plane. For that, make the plane normal. Again select convert entities and go for the outer edges. I'll select all the three boundary edges here and say it OK. So now this cylindrical feature will be converted here into a line command by selecting the outer edges. This was convert entities. I'll exit the plane here. Now I want a plane in between the cylindrical two faces, opposite sides. So I'll go for reference plane again, say it plane option. And in first reference, I'll select this end. And in second reference, I'll select the other end of the cylinder. Now you can see the plane is coming in middle of the cylinder here. You don't need to give any value or numerical instance. You just need to select two faces here and say it OK. The plane will automatically come in middle of the feature. Same way you can do here also. Select the reference geometry, plane. In first reference, select the first face and on other second. Say it OK. This plane will appear in middle of these two faces. I'll hide these two planes now. Now we'll go for another option here. You can also apply plane to the corner section here. You just need to go for reference geometry plane, and in first reference I'll add this edge, and in second reference I'll add the opposite edge, this one. And now you can see one plane is passing between these two edges. So our first reference was edge 1 and second was this edge 2, opposite side edge. And now the plane is coming in between two edges. I'll say it OK. This was another method to add the plane. We'll see some more methods. I'll hide this plane here. Now I want a plane tangent to this surface. For that, I'll select reference geometry and plane. I'll select first reference as this flat top face and second as this circular face. Now you can see one plane is appearing perpendicular to the selected flat face and tangent to the circular face. You can say them parallel. It will change its orientation. You can also go for angle option here. Select the angle and provide as the required angle here. I'll say it 45 degrees. If you want to flip the side, you can flip the side also for changing the quadrants. Say it OK. I'll hide this plane again. Another way is to take plane is by taking three references. For that, I'll again go to reference geometry and plane option. In first, second and third reference, I'll add three vertex points here. I'll select this first vertex point, second linear to the first one, and third at opposite side of the second one. Now you can see I've selected the three edges or three vertex points, first, second and third. I'll say it OK. Now again you can see one plane has been added here by reference of three vertex points. First point, second point and this third point. Another way, I'll hide this plane again and go for reference geometry plane. Here I'll select the edge as first reference and the face as second reference. You can see one plane is added perpendicular to the face as the orientation here was shown perpendicular. I'll say it at angle here. For angle, you just need to apply the angle value here. At whatever degree you want this plane to be inclined with the face, you can add the angle and say it OK. This was another way to add the planes. So in this way you can add multiple types of planes, and planes are really very necessary here. As the shape or sketch becomes intricate and complicated, we may require multiple planes. That's why it is very needed to know which options are available for the planes here. So in this session, we have gone through reference geometry and convert entities. For further features and commands, we'll continue in another session. So for today, we'll stop here. Do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.